Hey y'all, it's your girl V. Let me turn my camera a little bit. It's your girl V with Reality Recap here for another Tea Talk. And yes, I'm finally recapping the finale of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, guys. It was such a great epic episode. I literally watched it like 5 times because I felt like I have to do this recap justice. I really want you guys to feel how much I love this show, how good it is. And if you have not watched season 5 of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, what are you doing? Because they are that girl. So I had to make sure that I watched it over and over and over again. I got all my points together, so I'm not all over the place. It took me a few days. I even had to watch on Peacock. I suggest that as well. If you haven't watched the season finale of Salt Lake City on Peacock, if you have Peacock, it's uncensored, it's extended version. So good. Like you really get to understand everything if you watch it and hear with all the beeping and trying to read lips to see, what they're actually saying. So it was such a great finale. So I'm here finally to recap that. We are streaming live right now across Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Let me know your thoughts on the season finale of Salt Lake City. Don't forget, the 3-part reunion starts this week. I put a sneak peek of the reunion up for you. So if you haven't seen it, it's on my Instagram and Facebook page. But yes, Lily, thank you for checking in on YouTube. And I agree. Best franchise by far from beginning to end, and the extended versions. Chef's kiss. I totally agree with you. It has been nonstop action. I've always said it. Lily knows that I've said it. It has been all burners on this show. It's not like the other housewife shows where there's one storyline and plot that we're fixated on the entire season. It has been shit going on over here, over there, with this one, with that one, all over the place. The husband's involved. It's just been an amazing season. Hats off, like Lily says, Chef Kiss. They are they are that girl. I did say that they are the top franchise to me. So kudos. I agree. Let's get into it, y'all. Let me just show you real quick the notes, honey. It looks like a lot. Like a lot, but it's really gonna go. I promise I'm not trying to be up here all day, but we're gonna get through season 5 finale, Salt Lake City. Here we go. So we start off with Meredith coming to the breakfast table. How iconic. Rich girl vibe. She comes to the table with half her, yes, key points, Lily. She comes to the table at her eye covered with a Louis Vuitton fur eye cover because she said in the middle of the night she woke up with a scratched cornea, honey. I said Jen Shaw did it. I said not another eye mystery on vacation. Jen Shaw is locked up. Who did this? But yeah, she woke up with a scratched cornea, and she, apologized to Heather for their little spat the night before. But I said, here we go. Like, what is going on with Meredith on vacation, guys? Every time they go on vacation, she's sick. She's all over the place. She's a mess. Last time she was cold and shivering on the bus and needed a bathtub and nobody would give it to her. This trip, they're saying they hear her crying and throwing up in the bathroom, and she's saying people trying to insinuate stuff about her. Um, I felt like, people were trying to figure out online, why was she crying? Why did Brittany and them hear her crying? I said it's because Seth done told her, they said that they heard her talking to Seth when they was wondering what the conversation was about on Instagram. And I said, well, it must have been about Seth letting her know that he closing all the big lots. That's what I thought it was about, because I think eventually Steph's gonna be looking for another job, or he ain't gonna have a reason to be traveling all the time and leaving her back in Salt Lake City if all these big lots close. Because y'all know he's like the VP or somebody big. He's a big wig over there at Big Lots. So I said maybe that's why she was crying. I don't fucking know, y'all. But yeah, so she got her scratch cornea. And by the way, before we get to the Lisa lunch, which was epic, by the way, did anybody see Bethany reviewing Meredith's caviar or lie like she matched her cat. Look, I don't eat caviar. I ain't spending money on that. If I spend money on anything fancy in the seafood department, it's gonna be some lump crab meat, and that's all I got. A $22 can. That's all I got for you. But she did a review of Meredith's caviar, I guess, compared to another very high end, well known in rich worlds caviar, and she said that that Meredith's caviar was very rich, creamy, great, bold taste. I've never had caviar, but it seems like Meredith has some caviar gold on her hands, and she's been sending it out to everyone, and they've been enjoying it. So go ahead, girl, caviar dreams. But then we get to the Lisa lunch. So Heather arranged a Lisa lunch where all the girls dressed up like Lisa, and the Lisa was shocked. She came out and she was shocked. All the girls had on their brunette wigs, their sunglasses. They had on like similar outfits of hers. She was so shocked, but she found the opportunity to shade Whitney because Whitney mimicked the outfit of hers with some Tom Ford pants. And she was like, "Oh, Whitney, you look good as a brunette. You should go brunette." And she said, even though, your Tom Ford pants are 3 years old. I love me some Lisa. That is my Sagittarius flame, honey. She said, even though you got some 3-year-old Tom Ford pants, she still looks good. Better than she's ever looked, honey. They go to lunch and they're all ordering and they're sounding like Lisa. Oh, I love that. I love that. The waiter looking like, what the fuck is wrong with these women? Like, do you want the lobster or not? He was so annoyed just trying to get their orders. Lily asked on YouTube, who was your fave? Mine was Whitney and the tags. I totally agree. Whitney is not my favorite girl on this show. In past seasons, I feel like she starts a lot of the drama and just sit back and watch it unfold. Even the whole "you can leave" dinner, that was, in my opinion, started by Whitney. So she plays very like, I don't know what's going on, but I feel like at most times she starts most of the shit. At least this season, she's starting it and standing behind it. But who did I think was the best Lisa and read down was Whitney with the tags. I totally do agree with you. Listen, I'm nobody's stand, so I can tell you when I feel like they doing right or they doing wrong. But I do feel like Whitney tore the house down with her with her Lisa impression. So I felt like also in this luncheon, why I wrote Heather should be banned from games, but she asked the group to personate Lisa. You'll understand why later in here why she should be banned from all icebreaker games based on what happened in this finale episode. But I did write I feel like she should be banned for games. But she did ask the group to impersonate, do their best like Lisa impersonation. Why did Brittany get up there so sexual? Like, I have the best body and the best family. I was like, what is this girl doing? But that was her best impersonation, honey. The girls was having fun with it till Whitney stood up and she did her impersonation. She went to walk away to show that she still had tags on her clothes. So Lisa's asking, like, so what is that about? Like, what are you trying to imply with the tags? And she said, well, I have the tags because I have to go return these clothes after the vacation. I said, oh, got him. That was a good one. I will say, like I said, I don't care too much for Whitney, but she definitely won the shade battle at the Lisa lunch. And Lisa got upset, like, that's not me. That's definitely not me. And Whitney said, well, that's been the rumor for years, sis, that you return all your stuff. And Whitney, of course, like, listen. I mean, Lisa said, all my stuff is still in the closet. You could come see. And she said, well, I just feel like you are fake and phony. And I wanted to portray that, honey. I was dying. You hear me? On the floor, like, this how we starting the finale? Well, let's go there. I just could not get over that. What else did I have here? Whitney says her guy tells her Lisa put that out about her business. Yes. So then also Whitney was saying that, that's what's out there. Like I said, that's what's out there about her. And Whitney says that her gut tells her that Lisa started the whole rumor about her business, the Alibaba thing. And Lisa said, well, you need to check your gut. It's leaky and you need to drink some probiotic. I hope I'm doing this justice, y'all, but the episode had me on the floor. I cannot say it enough. Like, it literally had me on the floor. But she told her, like, well, you got a leaky gut. Drink some probiotic because your gut telling you wrong. Brittany jumps in the conversation to defend Lisa. And every time Brittany tried to jump in argument, I'd be like, girl, you don't know how to read. You always running off crying. Just mind your business, girl. But she jumps in saying, well, Lisa's been nothing but loyal to me. I don't believe that about her, Whitney. I don't believe that. She tries to jump in it. And Mary basically say, Brittany, shut up, sit down, because you was already accused of recording a group. So you should just mind your business when it comes to any conversation about loyalty and trust. Brittany then accuses Mary of, she said, well, you were recording out the window. Nobody said nothing to you, trying to accuse her of secretly recording. Mary, got highly upset and told her, basically, shut up, mind your business. You don't know what you're talking about. Leave me alone. You don't want to bark up this tree. And Brittany also mentioned how Meredith called her vile, and she said she would never recover from the things that Meredith said about her. Meredith said, girl, I ain't interested in you no more. I don't want to talk to you. I ain't interested in nothing you selling. And Brittany gets up from the table. She runs off crying. So Heather goes after her because Brittany said, I feel like I don't have any friends at this table. And she runs off. And Heather follows her. Angie follows her. Lisa follows her. They want to check on her. But Mary gets upset because, Mary and Angie have really been forming this great friendship. Mary has trusted in Angie to tell her what's going on with her son, and his substance abuse issues, and that she took him to rehab. Angie's really the only one that knows all of this stuff, so she was upset that Angie would run off chasing someone that doesn't like her. She said, don't go chasing nobody that don't like me. How do you feel about that? I would feel some type of way too. If I'm at the table with my closest friend and I'm arguing with somebody and that person runs off and you go chase them, I'm gonna feel some type of way too. What y'all think about that? You let me know. Lily said on YouTube, girl, this finale was everything. It was good as the Nene versus Claudia argument when the girls went to Puerto Rico. The Bob conversation. Say, what's wrong with the Bob? Something. Very much something. I agree with you. It was just a good time. Like, it was shady yet funny. It was not too dark and dreary, but it was just a whole lot of straight foolishness. And I lived for it. But Mary's upset that Angie, ran after Brittany, who is, pretty much her sworn enemy on the show. Um, the group then splits for horseback riding. Half of them go horseback riding. The other half go to a ceviche making class. Those horses was so wild, y'all. Like, even that was funny. Like, the way the horses was tucking them all around, pulling them back and forth. The horses farting, and we hearing all of that. I was crying. It was just pure comedy. The horses was acting up. The other girls making ceviche, and they tell them, like, they using, I think, fresh sea bass, and you have to squeeze lemon on it, and that's what, leave it for 15 minutes. That's what cooks it. And Heather telling all of us that, oh my God, I could be serving ceviche to my kids instead of hot dog, microwave a hot dog. You microwave your hot dog, sis? We listen and we don't judge. I've never microwaved a hot dog. I thought you just fry it on the pan or you boil it, or on the grill. I've never heard of microwaving a hot dog. Wouldn't it just bust open in the microwave, child? I don't know, but I said, girl, some things are better left unsaid, but we listen and we don't judge. Leslie also said, I don't know. I think Mary overreacted a little. I get that Mary doesn't like Brittany, but that's just who Angie is. She just wanted to check on her. Totally didn't think it was anything malicious behind it. And I guess I could see where both of them coming from. And, Mary kind of explains a little bit more. We'll get into that later into the episode. But from a loyalty standpoint, that's how Mary was looking at it. Like, Mary seems like, if I'm your friend, I done told you everything. You got my back. If somebody's mad with me and they run off, you don't go run after them. So she's looking at it from a loyalty aspect, where Angie is just, she seems like a fixer, a problem solver. That's what got her in trouble last time, right? When she went and told Whitney that Lisa had a problem with her about what she said on that podcast, The Vial Files, and it ended up blowing up in her face because Lisa felt like she ran and told what she had, and what she thought was a confidential conversation with Angie. But Angie is like a fixer, a peacemaker, even though she blew peace all the way out the water in this finale, child. We're gonna get into it. But I do see where you're coming from in that aspect, Lily, that she wants to be a fixer of things. So they're making ceviche, and also, the group is horseback riding. And then Mary does tell the group again, like, she's done with Angie. She's upset with her. Where does her loyalty lie? Brittany clearly doesn't like her, so why would she go chasing after her? And she's done with Angie. So it's like, dun dun. So that's where that leaves off. And then we head to the most epic housewife dinner ever on a cash trip. First of all, it was such a dope dinner. Like, they were in the middle of a luxury amusement park, and it was all of these like high end luxury looking carnival rides, amusement rides. I really was like, I want to go to, I don't even know how you say it. Is it Puerto Vallarta or something, Mexico? It looks like such an amazing place. I was like, I'm looking this up for spring break, child. I just want to go follow their whole itinerary. But it was such a aesthetically pleasing surrounding for their dinner, for them to have such a shitty dinner. At least the vibes were giving, like the vibes were definitely giving. So I also had a question as to, and I put this in my story, why didn't Mary perm her leave out before she left for Mexico? We all know, us Black girls. We know, if you're gonna wear your first of all, if you're gonna wear lace front, you always see the girls with the headband, the scarf tied around, because they got to keep that glue down while they swimming and while they out in the hot sun. They don't want it to slip back like a convertible top. Then on the other hand, we all know that when we wearing our sew-in to leave out, that's our hair that we leave out to blend in with it. You know, other girls don't act like y'all don't wear these tracks too. It's not just the Black girl thing, but all women in the whole, y'all, we wear clip-ins, tape-ins, all that. Why the hell didn't Mary perm her leave out? I was so annoyed sitting there watching her at that dinner with her leave out swelling up like that. I said, "Now, Mary, you was supposed to perm that before you left to go down there. You ain't swimming. You ain't getting in no chlorine. You could have permed that leave out, girl." But she's sitting there with her leave out swelling on top of her head, leaving the rest of her hair ain't blending at all. I said, "Oh my God, girl. Angie, why you ain't tell her? You supposed to be her friend. You supposed to brush it down. You the hair expert with the 1,000 salons. Why you let her go out there like that?" But anyway, that was just a side note of mine. Like, Mary, next time you go on vacation, have that leave out perm. But Angie, they're at the table, and Angie tries to talk to Mary. They all having like shareable food, and she asks Mary if she wants some, and Mary just literally ignores her. And I felt like Mary was a bit harsh and saying like, "Yeah, yeah, I'm ignoring you because I'm hurt." And then the episode takes this weird soap opera relationship turn that was odd yet very intriguing to watch, if any of that makes sense. But Angie, she started crying and telling Mary like, "I love you. I see you differently than I see all these other women." And it was like, "I don't understand right now why you're shutting me out and you're hurting me right now." And I was just like, what is happening? But I like it. It was just very soap opera-y. It was also, but yet heartfelt. You can tell they really have a great relationship now, and there's a lot of trust there. And we clearly know that Mary does not trust easily. So it was drama felt yet intriguing. That's all I can say. And Mary responded and saying that, she went over how she has abandonment issues, that her father left at 6 because he did not like her, said that she was too outspoken. She spoke about before how her mom was there, but her mom had her own things going on, that really didn't like cook or be there for them or anything like that. Let me put this up on the screen so everybody knows what we're talking about. Salt Lake City. But yeah, she talks about having those abandonment issues, and that her and Angie had gotten close, and she felt like she wasn't being loyal by running after Brittany. And they talking about Brittany like she ain't sitting at the table, like, I don't like her. Why you go running after her? And Brittany just sitting there like, here we go again. I swear. But it definitely was like, it was good to see with Mary and Angie. They definitely have formed a friendship, but it was just odd. It was drama filled. And I just know the producers was back there and the cameraman was hot fiving. Like, we have reality TV gold right here. They come hug it out figuratively. They hug it out or whatever and get over it, Angie and Mary. But Meredith says she has some issues that she needs resolved for. Hi, Toria. Thank you for checking in on Facebook. And Lily said on YouTube, when Angie started crying, so did I. She loves Mary. Yeah, it was like, I felt it. It definitely gave me soap opera vibes, but I felt it. You can feel there's a real friendship there. You definitely can. Like, they do trust, there's love, there's confidentiality there. Angie has not shared anything that Mary told her about her son. So I agree. It is giving genuine friendship, which is very hard to come by in housewife history. We have some, you get one or two there that are really genuine, that last. But I do think that they forged a genuine friendship. So Meredith says she has some things that she needs resolved on, and she calls out Whitney. And she's accused, she said Whitney accused Lisa of starting the Alibaba rumor, and that the podcaster that allegedly told Whitney this information, or that Whitney said, had proof or given her proof that this had came from Lisa. Basically, this person called Meredith saying that that wasn't true, that Whitney was trying to strong arm him or her, whoever this podcaster is. I'm going to say him because that's what I know of it, but that Whitney tried to strong arm him into saying Lisa did it, that he never gave her proof that Lisa was the one that's, leaked this Alibaba jewelry story, and that Whitney is twisting his words. Now look, Toria said, also with that, you saw how Mary been lying on her mom. Yes, Toria. I found it interesting that she said that her mom was her best friend. I think we just talked about that before you came on. I found it interesting that she said that her mom was her best friend in this scene, yet in other scenes, she was saying that her mom wasn't there. She did not cook for them. They were left on their own. They never had two things in the refrigerator that match. Like, they would have cabbage and ketchup, not peanut butter and jelly. Like, she said that her mom really cared about her own life only. So I did find that interesting. I do hope that comes up as a question at the reunion and she can give some clarity, because I was trying to understand that, was she saying like, even though all of this was going on, she still looked at her mom like her best friend? But I did find that odd, and I did clock that T. It was like, so which one is it? I also found it a little odd for her to say that, her father left at 6 because he did not like her, or or that she was too outspoken and he left. But yet also we saw, she said, didn't she say her father lived when they went out to, where did they go on that trip? I forget where they went to the, museum of bobbleheads and stuff like that, where she said her, seemed like her father lived out there and he lived somewhere near Jeffrey Dahmer or something like that. So it wasn't adding up, but hopefully it comes up and she can clarify. And Latoya also said the reason why she left her because of Mary marrying the granddad and lying on her grandma. Oh, okay. So we know that Mary is married to her grandmother's husband. So her grandfather-in-law is who Mary is married to. And you're saying that's where her relationship went wrong with her mother, because she married her granddaddy-in-law. Interesting. And she said that Mary lies on her family. Yeah, the math is definitely not mathing, and the stories we've heard before and on this episode, I totally agree with you there. So hopefully somebody else clocked it besides me and you, honey, and we hear about it on the next interview or on the reunion. We'll see. Um, but yeah, back to Meredith calling out Whitney and saying that, this podcast is saying that he did not give Whitney any proof. This is my feeling on it. Number one, this podcaster, whoever he is, I think you guys have told me who he is before. Y'all said that he's a big thing on YouTube. I don't follow him. I don't know him. But it's giving he wanted his 15 minutes of fame, even from when he called Whitney and told Whitney what he said. Now, Whitney, this podcaster, we heard the conversation. So Whitney is not lying in the regards that this man called her and said that he spoke to the blog page that dropped the story about Whitney's jewelry coming from Alibaba, and that he asked the blogger, well, does this person own a jewelry line? Does this person, and he said no. Or the blogger said no. Does this person have a liquor line? And the blogger said yes. So they tied that back to being Lisa because she owns, or has Vita Tequila. Now that we saw that happen. So the blogger, if he's saying that she twisted words, or that he's being forced to say that Lisa did it, absolutely not the case. But and on the other side of that, there was no receipts or proof provided. There was nothing other than he said, she said that was provided, and Whitney went with that. I'm simply saying that, look, if these are your friends, if these are your circle, and I think that's what Heather was trying to get into when she broke out in her sermon, which we'll get to, but we're letting outsiders come in and give us or feed us this information that got us at each other's throat. So I just personally wouldn't have went off of what this podcaster has said. If I, I would have went to Lisa and said, look, this is what's being said. Let's talk about it. I wouldn't necessarily have went to Lisa in an accusatory way, or as if I knew this is what she has said and did. That's all. That's my thoughts on it. Latoria said, I am so sick of Meredith telling people to leave as if she owned these places. Yeah, she wants them to leave the Sprinter van, leave the dinners, leave the vacations. She want everybody to leave anywhere. It is coming off a little bit disingenuous, some of the things they say, like either Heather repeating the receipts proof timeline. Some of them are looking for a moment. I think Meredith think her coin term is you can leave. On to the next on Instagram said they are not real friends. They may not be real friends. I just feel like in Housewives, they know each other allegedly they know each other in most cases before this show and were friends for a long time. And when you go through an experience like this with like a Housewives show, when you're on a cast and you're getting beat down by the public together and things like that, I feel like You see it with Jersey Shore. It bonds you in a way that whether it's like family, you may not like them all the time, but they are your family. So with that said, I if the blog would have came to me or this podcast would have came to me with this information, my first thought is, why are you telling me this? You're calling while I'm filming so that you can get your 15 minutes of fame. My first thought when somebody's sharing gossip with me is, why are you telling me this? What are you getting out of this? And I would have had that conversation with Lisa. Like, this is what this man told me. Did you do it? Did you not? Because this is what is being said. You know, it wouldn't have been an already pointing the finger like, yeah, this is what I know you did, and I know you got something to do with it. So just letting you know, I know. That's just not how I would have approached it. Latoria also said, I think Meredith's been crying and going through it. The word on the street is her husband has another woman and she knows about it. Also, he lost his job because all the big lots are closing. Yeah. I talked about that when we first started, that, the women were saying that Meredith always sick on every damn vacation. That's number one. Like, maybe she just don't travel well. Like, I don't know. She don't travel well, but I did say that I thought that the crying that they heard had something to do with him possibly losing his job because all these big lots closing. Now, I have not heard the rumors in the streets, but it sounds like from Latoria, allegedly, that Seth has another woman that she knows about. Ooh, ooh. I ain't heard that bit of tea, but okay. Allegedly. That's what Latoria said is going down, honey. So I don't know. But I thought it was over the big lots. I did see something that said that they were going to keep a few stores open, but not enough for him to keep his big wig job. So I hope she sells lots of caviar, honey. But I told y'all, Bethany did a review. She said that it's very rich and creamy and tasty. So if you believe in what Bethany Frankel got to say, but she did a review on the caviar. I will say, based on she did a caviar like against another high end, hers did have bigger, like whatever them things are, bowls. They was bigger than the other one. It had a different color. I don't eat that. I told y'all. If I'm gonna spend money on something in a can that's small, it's gonna be lump crab meat, honey. So I don't know. But she say it's good. Latoria said it's going to be brought up at the reunion. Well, let's get to it. Can't wait. This Wednesday. We got 2 days left. I can't wait to get to the reunion. But Meredith, she got to get her moments in, and she, accuses Whitney of making this stuff up that this podcaster said. Look, I don't believe this podcaster. I believe this podcaster was looking for exactly what's happening for everyone to be talking about them throughout the season. That's what I feel like they were looking to have done. And Whitney tries to justify her believing this podcaster because she says that Lisa has been known to feed stories to the press, that she was known to feed stories to Reality Von Teese. Heather asked, well, Whitney, how do you know that? And Whitney admitted that out of desperation or feeling like she has to defend herself or go dig up dirt to be able to, have some ammunition in her back pocket, that she did reach out to Monica, and the table is up in arms like, oh my God, how could you reach out to our sworn enemy? And I'm just saying, if Whitney, it doesn't surprise me that Whitney reached out to Monica because they didn't leave the reunion on a bad note, right? Like, Whitney wasn't really involved in all of the shit that was going on with the whole burn book and stuff like that. She really stayed clear of that and had seemed like a mutual respect between her and Monica. So am I surprised that she reached out to her? I'm not. I'm just feeling like if we reaching out to her, if we still talking about her, why we couldn't just have her on the show? All those that threatened to leave, had you said, okay, go, we're gonna keep Monica, they'd still been there. If it was Lisa that was saying that she would walk, with all the endorsements that Lisa has gotten, she got one of the most biggest marketing jobs with, or content jobs with Wendy, She's been in like bleach commercials, bleach wipes, all types of stuff. Like, girl, you ain't leaving this show. Stop it. So if you would have told her right back, you want to stop your bag because we having Monica, go right ahead. None of them would have left. They were just making empty threats, empty, empty threats and promises. They was not gonna go anywhere. And they said, Latoria said it's true. Lisa is known. They have some receipts in the white group. I will tell you, not that I will try to get them. Yeah, I not the white group, child. I'm not getting involved, but yeah. Do I believe that? And Lisa didn't say she doesn't leak stories. She just said if I'm a leak a story, it's gonna be to like the New York Post. It's not gonna be to some one-off blogger. If I'm a leak something, it's gonna get leaked. So I told y'all this with the whole thing with Teresa and Jen and these bloggers and they're paying them. You've got to be crazy if you don't think all of these housewives are digging up stories, planting shit to get back at people. Like you're on a national platform where people are trying to embarrass you, talk about you, defame your character, talk about your husband, your kids. When it gets that low, people can go lower at any time. Like whether they doing it in your face or behind your back. I think that's part of the game in the housewives community now is getting dirt, telling dirt, trying to make others look bad that have made them look bad. I'm not surprised at all. It feels like to me it's part of the game. It really does. Like it just seems like it's part of the game to me. So am I like saying Lisa's above doing that? Absolutely not. Like I told you, I'm nobody's stand. I like Lisa. I think she's funny, but I'm not gonna just ride with someone because I think they're cool or I like their way of dressing. So no, I don't think, and I don't think she's the only one. Real talk, but I agree with you there. So after they, Mary tries to back up Whitney saying like y'all can be malicious, y'all can be a rough group to be around. I could see how she would reach out to Monica. I've been in her boat where y'all all are ganging up on people. And she tried to stick up for Whitney. And we do know Mary has been in that boat. That's why she left the show. Victoria says, yes, because Mary didn't talk anything about her and her husband separating. Is she waiting to have that as a strong line next season, a strong storyline next season? I'm not sure because, all I know is Mary did address it on because the rumors came out some time ago that Mary and her husband was separating and she debunked those rumors on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. She said that it's not true. When she was recently on Watch What Happens Live after the episode of Salt Lake City, when she's talking to Andy, she says that he's there, that he's in the house. He just doesn't want to film. He doesn't trust production. But she made sure to say, but he like you, Andy. Like, don't fire me because he like you. But he don't trust production. He doesn't like the light that he's been portrayed in, so he doesn't film. But I don't necessarily believe that he's in that house. But when she was on Watch What Happens Live, that's what she said. He's there, he's just not interested in filming. She also mentioned that she on Watch What Happens Live, she mentioned that she did talk to Robert Sr. about Robert Jr.'s, substance abuse issues. She went to him to get, and they discussed getting what help they were going to get because she said that Robert Sr. struggled with drug addiction in his past as well. So she said that she, because Andy asked, like, did you talk to him about it? Was he upset? And she said, absolutely not. She felt comfortable going to him. She needed his guidance and advice because he had gone through it himself. So she say he's still around. I don't necessarily believe it, but she say he's still around. I'm like, we don't ever even see a shadow of this dude, like nothing. He'll never call and have a conversation with her on the phone, like absolutely nothing. I don't know, but she says that's not true. So after Mary tries to back up Whitney, Heather delivers her sermon, honey, and she's like on her high horse of, we should be protecting this circle and stop trying to find receipts, proof, timelines from strangers. Again, trying to plug her famous line in there. That's why I told you some of this stuff seems a little disingenuous, but she's trying to plug in her line and she's saying how they have to wear armor every day against what people are going to say about them, about their looks, about their mothering. Um, you know, we put ourselves out there and we have to protect each other in this circle and not let strangers come in and infiltrate our our friend group. She's putting on a whole performance for us guys. Like she's really landed on thick with her sermon, honey. It was like past the collection plate. She's looking for donations, child. And she's saying that those type of things hurt. And then she suggests that she says that everyone has their own burn book. It may not be in the form of how Monica brought it to the reunion, but our burn books are in our phones. And she tells everyone, like, it's definitely giving Saw, like, let's play a game. But she says, like she suggests that everyone reads the worst or nastiest text message they have said about someone in the group. Worst idea ever. But I looked over at my husband and said, this shit about to get real. Let's get into it. I was ready. I was ready for the mess. I really, really was. Like, I was ready for it. Toria said Dr. Martin Heather with the gaslight. And yes, it was like, girl, please. This is partially the same speech we saw you give at the beginning of the episode when they were all, when you was in your army pants and your pink tube top and they showed that on national TV, child. Like they were supposed to shoot you from the waist up. So she really laid it on thick. And Tori said that wasn't a good idea, and she knew it. She did that to be messy. Like, I could only imagine Tori a production back there, like, yeah, let's do this. It's about to be another epic finale. Like, I could only imagine how they was hot fiving and so happy that she brought up. I wouldn't even be surprised if they didn't bring this up to her as the game that they were gonna play. It was like the messiest thing ever, but I was here for it and I was ready for it. So Mary goes first, and her text message is about Heather. And it started off okay. Her message was a little rough as far as like Heather changing after fame, becoming mean, throwing her accomplishments in everyone's faces, even though these is the group of people that have always believed in her, especially me. I've always been extremely proud of Heather, is what Mary said. So Heather read it. She was crying. She understood where Mary was coming from. She's saying that she has changed since her marriage and being on this show and, just kind of standing up for herself more so she could see how it could come off as that. And she understood. They kind of like, do a little handshake over the table and they were able to say, I love you and move on. So I was like, all right. First one went. I expected more out of Mary, but the game is starting off on an okay foot. Latoria said, did you see Heather did something to her face? She was looking mighty funny in confessionals. Did anyone notice that? Yeah, when she had on the black, she looked very tight around here and her nose looked different to me. It's definitely giving. So maybe she did a half facelift. They do that where they just do half the face, not the whole. Or maybe it was the nose. I personally feel like she did something to her nose. The nose definitely looks different. So, agree with you. And Toria said, Mary knows she said way worse, but she chose that. Yeah. I think all of them have said way worse. Some of them were honest, Angie being the top one. We're going to get into her. But is that the worst thing Mary has probably said? Mary has said worse stuff in her confessionals than than what she read, but she was trying to keep it light and not go too dark and deep. So Mary went first. That seemed to have gone well. Brittany decides she's gonna go next, and she's so ditzy, child. Like, how could y'all really think that this girl was trying to record y'all for any purposes? She don't have the brains to be a spy for anything. But Brittany goes and she wrote a text about Mary. The text said she said she would much rather invite Bronwyn over for tea than to have Mary over for tea. She doesn't want to have tea with Mary. That's what was in Brittany's phone. So everybody looking like, girl, that's the meanest thing you said. I believe it. Brittany got too much on her plate. She got to chase behind Jared. She got to do 20 million reels and TikToks a day. She has, if anything, I will say that's smart about Brittany. She has really taken this opportunity on this show to grow her social media. She makes a joke out of all of the things the girls have said about her, and she uses that to her social media advantage. That's all I can say from a smart perspective about Brittany. But her text was pure nonsense. Like, girl, you didn't even have to play the game. But it was funny. It was like, all right, that's the best Brittany got. She doesn't want to have tea with Mary. Mary's sitting over there like, yeah, that makes sense. I don't want to have tea with you in there. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? When are we supposed to have tea? So it was hilarious, y'all. Excuse me. Latoya said, please don't bring her back. Brittany needs to go. Mary made me laugh. Mary said, I agree. Like, yeah, like, I don't want to have no tea with you, bitch. We good. You ain't like, just sit back. Why are you even participating in this game? Brittany ain't got a mean bone in her body. She's just out of space. She's a space cadet for real. So next up is Bronwyn. Bronwyn goes next, and her text was about Brittany. She said that like Brittany was emotionally manipulative, that she trauma bonds in her relationships, and that she felt like she was doing that even in the group with the girls. And Brittany took offense to that. She said that that was really harsh and mean. Bronwyn doesn't even really know her to say anything about that. We don't know you, but it is true. Every time we see you, it's, I have an announcement. Jared and I broke up. Jared and I are back together. My daughters aren't talking to me. One of them spent the night. Like, so we don't know you, but we know you because of you. Nobody's digging up anything on you. You're making announcements every time we see you. So don't get offended that we do think, or I had to be honest. What Bronwyn said, I was like, yeah, that shit is true. It was giving facts. Like, and Toria seems to agree that was facts. Like when Bronwyn read it, I was like, good assessment. We're all feeling the same way. Real talk. We all feeling the same way. Great assessment. Um, then we get into the epic shit because after that was Angie. Angie goes, and I died. Angie tried to soften the blow, and she's like, Bronwyn, listen, the text is about you. It was in the heat of the moment. Bronwyn cuts her off, like, no, you don't have to preface it. I understand. Um, that's how you felt. I can take it. Yet she takes the phone, and before she can even read it out loud, I guess she read it to herself, and she already crying. I said, Lord have mercy. Lily said, facts, Brittany needs to back down on this one. Like, yeah, girl, just go make a TikTok video or something. Go sing in public like you're always doing on your everybody else looking at her crazy while she's singing in the mall, on the bus, in the airplane, airport, everywhere, just singing Broadway musicals, child. Go sit down somewhere. But Angie tried to soften the blow. Bronwyn acting like she a tough girl and she could take it, and she looked at the phone and just she I said, oh Lord. So Brian reads the text, and it basically says that, I kind of remember it, which is wild. But Angie said in the text message that she thinks, Bronwyn, nice business plan Bronwyn has, marrying a rich man that has one foot in the grave and another foot on a banana peel. That, she said that Bronwyn is nice, but she said Bronwyn doesn't listen. And that's because her ears are stitched down so tight to her face, she can't hear what nobody's saying. And she said that she likes her business plan more. She likes being self-made or independent. And that we saw Bronwyn wear her her Moschino hot dog couture outfit. But Angie said that she wears that hot dog costume to remind us that she sucked her way to the top. I hit the floor. Sometimes my husband gets like entangled in this stuff because he's working on his computer and I'm watching TV, and he gets entangled into it. And he heard that. We both was like, oh, I was crying, y'all. Like, that was the best read I heard in a very, very long time. I was on the floor. Real talk. Like I just was. It was like epic. Fucking epic. I said it when I posted. I had to post it for y'all that she got so many views and comments. So clearly y'all felt the same way. But it felt like I said it. I said, Angie has definitely solidified her spot for next year, for the next season. She definitely has deserves to keep her snowflake. I was a bit adamant about Angie when she first came on, and I didn't know if she was gonna be genuine. I didn't know because like she was doing a whole lot of roll neck and trying to be relatable to the community when she first came on. But she has really, really grown on me this season. She's coming to her own. And I felt like she graduated from the Phaedra schools, the Phaedra Park School of Reed, honey. Like she went off, and I was like, "Damn!" And the crazy thing is, I still don't think that was the meanest thing that she had said ever. But I'll take it, girl. You stepped up, understood the assignment. Angie K has now come one of my faves of the show, and I could watch that clip that I posted over and over and over again. And like I said, guys, if you have not watched this on Peacock, the uncensored version, you are missing out. You are totally missing out. You have to watch the uncensored version. Like, Angie, she can get on my nerves sometimes, but she keeps throwing the Greek, 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 Greek. I'm Greek in our face. That kind of has died out the last couple of episodes, except for at the ceviche thing where she's like, "Oh, we only missing one ingredient to make a Greek salad." No, you're damn to make ceviche, Angie. But like she kind of was wearing me out with that, which is kind of subsiding. She stepped into her own shade, and I'm here for it. Definitely. Bronwyn, she act like she could suck it up and take it. Her feelings was hurt. And what else I don't believe, like, and Heather said it when we get into what Heather's text message was about. Angie said it. I didn't believe anybody that said, I didn't mean it. It was just in the heat of the moment. Like, no, you meant it. Just own up to it. You meant it. You meant what you said. That's why you said it. Nobody's just saying anything. It's almost like when they say a drunk man tells no tales. It's the same thing with that. Like, it's the same where you're upset and you say something, you mean it. You mean exactly what you said. Real talk. Latoria on Facebook said, and I believe that is Angie's husband telling her to stop. Let them play in your face. Like, I don't know. But I definitely believe they meant everything that they said. I really do. Nobody is just saying these things out of spite. They meant it. Lisa goes next after Angie's epic read text message. Lisa goes next, and her text message was about Meredith, and she's saying like, "Oh, Meredith weaponizes information, and and this was, and this was last year when we were going through what we were going through, and we're over it." And Meredith, like, given what happened last season, I would see why you would say that, and that was supposed to be the end of that. Lisa, stop playing. You said more about Meredith in the hot mic moment where you called her a dumpster whore, where you said that she sleeps with everything in New York and she's cheated on her husband. You said more in the hot mic moment than you said in that text message. Like, stop playing. That's not the meanest thing in your phone, Lisa. Let's get real. You said more in your confessionals about these women than you said in that text message. I did not believe that was the meanest thing in her phone. The only way that was the meanest thing in her phone is if she's deleted all the other shit she already said. Like, knock it off. Knock it off. I was disappointed. She didn't understand the assignment. Pookie Bay said, "Is Meredith on drugs?" I don't know. A lot of people have called out. I even saw that on Tamara and what's the girl name? Teddy's podcast, where they were saying that she was speaking extra slow in the episodes. I don't know. I don't know if Meredith always had that tone to me, Do I think she talks like that in her regular life? No. I think she thinks she's giving us like Kardashian tone. I don't know if she's on anything or not. Only time will tell. If she was actually throwing up and stuff or crying, I don't know. But that does seem to keep circulating where people think that. But I haven't necessarily heard that or seen any like proof receipts timelines, but it is circulating. People do feel like just her speech is slowed like slowed or slurred speech is definitely something that people are pointing out for Meredith. But it's kind of consistent. So unless she on something all the time, every interview, every confessional, every episode, it's the same slurred, slow speech. I don't know. Latoria says, Latoria seems to think on Facebook that she's going through something. It's being alleged that Seth has another woman on the side. That's being alleged. So there's something there. My little community seems to think that there's something there. Not necessarily sure if it's substance abuse, but they tend to think that something's going on. Lily said, I think she's on the Xannies. Oh wow. My brother used to take them and he would slur and speak in similar manner without the British accent. I again, this is allegedly, these are all my thoughts. But I do think that when she travels, she takes something to travel. I do think that. I told you I don't think she travels well. I know it sounds like, I'm trying to package food and wonder if it travels well, but I don't think she travels well. And I would agree. I think, allegedly, I think she takes something to get her through the flight, to get her through being out of the country. I do think that. Toria says, no, tell him he needs to leave. How dare he just play? But yeah, I don't know. Definitely something going on. And I don't know, because her son talks with the same tone too. Meredith's son, like when he was trying to, talk to Brittany after she was crying about the high body count hair, he talks in a similar way. So that may just be the way she is. So I don't know. But we'll find out. Only time will tell, honey. So after Lisa goes with her whack ass message, she read to Meredith that is not the meanest thing she's ever said for sure. Heather shows her text to Whitney. Whitney starts crying. And I said, damn. No wonder Mary called Heather a mean girl, because she went off in her text message. She says she prefaces the same way. It was in the heat of the moment. I was mad. I was raged. But she called Whitney, she called her a low life piece of shit. She said she was a snake. And even though she carried Wild Rose Brittany products, beauty products in her beauty labs, she didn't sell not one goddamn one of them. I said, well, damn. Tell us how you really feel. Heather meant everything she said. I don't know why they talking about something. It was just enraged. You was enraged and you said how you really felt and you meant what you said. Maybe you don't feel like that every day, but you meant it in that moment. And I was like, oh, all right, Heather. No wonder Mary said you mean, child. But that was her message to Whitney. Whitney and her talked through it. They seemed okay. They're on a better page. She said that they were fighting, beefing back then. That's when they had went on their trip. And Heather felt like, Whitney lied on her. So they were in a bad space when she wrote that. Tori said, Heather is still mad because Whitney told what she said and Heather got caught lying. Yeah, she is still mad. They're just like, to me, they're frenemies or cousin me's or whatever you want to call them. And Lily said, this was me when Lisa read what Whitney said about her and John Child. Let's get into it. We about to get right into that. Pookie Bay on Instagram said, unpopular opinion, I love Heather. I don't love Heather, but I don't hate Heather. I think Heather always comes with the but a Dutch jokes. Like she thinks she's so funny all the time. And she was a little obsessive with being loyal this season because of what happened in the last season. She definitely had reality Vonti's PTSD, and her thoughts of what's loyal got her caught up in a lot of shit in the middle of things. So I don't dislike her. Definitely think she deserves a snowflake next season, especially as after coming up with this messy ass game she had them playing. How could you not? Like, I don't got no problems with Heather, real talk. But let's keep getting into these text messages. So after that, Whitney, surprise, surprise, Whitney's text message is for Lisa to read. I don't care what you say, Latoria. Whitney knew what she was doing. That was a strategic text message, in my opinion, that wasn't about something mean she had said. It was to bring up more rumors and more nonsense about what she's heard about Lisa and her marriage. It was a double-edged sword, if you would say, but she didn't really want to make peace with Lisa, is what I'm trying to say. Like, I feel like Whitney knew exactly what she was doing by choosing that text message. I do. Say what you want, but she did. It's not like she picked a message where she said mean things. This was a text message about another rumor or something that she had been told, that she was gossiping to someone else that she was told. So Latoria said, I agree with you. Besides the point saying it was mean. It was mean and funny. I say pow pow. Yeah, I mean, I don't care about the mean part. Like, this shit was funny. And I was definitely like, but it seemed strategic to me, of the text message that she picked. To me, the whole thing was hilarious. I don't take this reality shit too seriously, but it was planned what she did. So Whitney hands Lisa her phone, and this is where it gets good, because this is, if you watched it uncensored, because I had no idea what she had said when they beeped it out on the episode, but this is where it got really good when you watched it on Peacock. So basically, the message was saying that Whitney went to a party and a woman came up to her saying that, like, John and Lisa were definitely into bringing other women into their relationship. Just ask her, she knows all about it, because she was in a situation where her and her and Lisa was kissing while she gave John a happy ending. Okay. So Lisa hit the roof. Y'all know how Lisa feel about John Barlow, honey. She hit the roof. Oh my gosh, that's so low. You attacking my marriage. Whitney says, well, I could have said something about your looks. Yo, Whitney was on fire this episode, y'all. And she's like, well, say what you got to say about my looks. I'd rather you say something about my looks than talk about my husband. Nobody else husbands was talked about. What do you mean? Bronwyn just got told that she married a man because he got one foot in the grave and the other on the banana pit. What you mean nobody else husband was talked about? What makes you above that? I don't get it. Like, you're not the only one that had your husband talked about at this table. But yeah, like, Whitney had me cracking up. Like, I could have talked about y'all looks. I love Lisa, but she do look a little old in the face. Like, she's wrinkling right here. She gotta do something about that. It doesn't look that great. Like, she doesn't look great in unedited pictures. And sometimes on this show, yeah, you could tell, like, she needs to pull that back. Hey, is it searching for Kiara? Hi, thank you for checking in. She might need to pull that back a little bit. Go to Tamara's doctor, because Tamara came out looking like a whole new person. I heard the girls are going over to Turkey, honey, and snatching them faces back. That's what I heard the people are doing. So she might want to take a trip to Turkey. But anyway, y'all get me sidetracked. But yeah, like, Whitney, in my opinion, knew exactly what she was doing by talking about that. I really do. Like, and Lisa lost it. And I said the uncensored episode was really, really good. Now, they're at the table, they're screaming back and forth. Whitney's telling her, shut the F up and listen. Listen to what I have to say. Lisa doesn't want to hear anything. She says she putting a flower pot up in front of her face. Like, I don't want to hear you. You know, Whitney's pulling the flowers out of the pot. I said, this is like reality TV gold. Like, I truly enjoyed it. I really did. Lily said, I saw a close up of her. I could tell her face was sagging. Yeah, and it's just right around here in the jaws and stuff. She just need that snatch back a little bit, you know. I would say it was from too much sun, but I mean, she's in Salt Lake City. Are they really getting that much sun? Maybe she travels a lot. Who knows? But yeah, and I don't know why, but Lisa drags Angie into it. Like, wow, after all the stuff that was said about your husband, I felt like Lisa was looking for Angie to jump in with her or help her because, you know, they had that whole conversation about friendship and having each other's back. I don't know if Lisa was looking for Angie to have her back or why she brought Angie up in it, but she's like, yeah, everything that was said about Sean last season, like, girl, look to the side of you. They were saying that your friend was the one that said it, even though Meredith is denying it. They were saying that's where it was coming from, or at least Monica was saying it was out in the street. So I don't know, but why did that have to be brought up? I have no idea. So then she then says to Angie, well, I heard Sean circle jerks. What? What? What are we talking about at this table? And I don't get why she had to bring that up. Again, Angie got upset. She stands up. Why would you say that? You gotta watch the Uncensored. I ain't trying to get kicked off of here, but you gotta watch the Uncensored if you haven't. She's like, why would you bring that up? Why would you say that about my husband? Like, and she's trying to justify. Well, I'm just saying that's basically what she said to me. That's basically what Whitney just said to me. So why is it okay when they say it to your husband? Nobody cares that it's being said about my husband. John is the best person in the whole wide world. Nobody should be talking about him. Yada 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 yada. Girl, like, nobody is exempt at this table. Everybody's, well, not everybody text message was great, but anybody could get it, girl. You signed up for the game. So I just don't, I don't get how she felt like, you know, again, with given what was said about Sean and Angie's marriage before, again, what's been said about Whitney and her husband and how they met or what she does with him. Also, Bronwyn literally 2 seconds before that said that her husband got one foot in the grave, one on a banana peel. Nobody's marriage, it should be exempt. Nobody should be bringing up anybody's husband. Y'all signed up for the show, not the husbands. Well, technically they kind of did, but yeah. So I didn't get why she felt her, you know, her marriage shouldn't be talked about. Again, I can understand why she's upset. You're upset as what was said, and I don't think she heard Whitney try to insinuate or try to say, I don't believe it, but this is what I want to burn. I want to burn this. No, you wanted to burn Lisa down, sis. And that's why you had her read that text message. That was strategic. You can't tell me nothing else. Like, I did not believe her sitting there and saying, like I said, that, oh, well, this is what I wanted to burn. Are you not hearing me? Do you not understand the game? Yo, we understand the game real good and we see your game. We see each other, Whitney, girl. Knock it off. You knew what you was doing. Stop it. Stop it. It was good though. It was good though. It definitely got Lisa up in arms. And Angie got heated with her. Again, I have no idea why Lisa had to bring Angie into it. I don't. But child, Meredith started crying and she started saying, nothing about this is good. I told Latoria on Facebook, like, Meredith started crying because she didn't get to have nobody read her text message. She missed her opportunity to make an epic moment at this dinner. It got out of hand. She should have went before Whitney. And then I bet y'all she wouldn't have cried. Like, Meredith, in my opinion, love her, but she has spent this entire season looking for a moment. She's been waiting for an apologies from Angie and the group because she's saying that they thought she spread the rumors last season. That ain't never gonna come. She was mad that Angie made the joke about take the her hearing aids and hear better when she said that to Brian, when she made that a whole moment about making fun of impairment. That's not what she meant. Let's knock it off. Like Meredith has spent this whole season trying to find her moment, coin her caviar and her bath bombs. Like that's what she's been up to. So had she gone before the whole table was walking away and mad, she wouldn't have been crying, child. But Lisa storms off. She wants the mic off of her. Meredith says she's done. She walks away. And then Heather got the nerve to sit there and tell the rest of the table. I mean, after that, we saw Bronwyn too say, everybody's talked about my marriage and how old he is and our age gap. And everybody's had mean things to say about the prenup. So why is she exempt from it? Why is she exempt? You right, Bronwyn. You right, girl. You know, you sitting there with your parrot earrings and your pineapple bra, child. You are absolutely right. She's not above it, and she could get it like anybody else can, girl. But the nerve that Heather had to sit there after that game and say this is not what she intended for the last day of the trip, then what the hell did you attend? Like, what did you what did you expect was going to happen? That's not what you was looking to happen. You've got to be kidding me. You came up with this round circle icebreaker of reading the meanest text to the person you wrote it about, and this is not what you tended to happen. Girl, you knew exactly what you was doing with this game. You wanted another receipts proof timeline. Like, let's think about it. That receipts proof timeline screenshots was said all over the world. Like, I'm talking about at White House correspondence dinners, everybody's using on Twitter for their companies. It was everywhere. She became, in my opinion, a best-selling author, New York Times author, because of that saying. Like, her popularity skyrocketed from that, and she took the opportunity to do that a second time with this foolish ass game that she had these women play. Like, what are you talking about, girl? Heather knew exactly what she was doing. I appreciate it, girl, because you had me on the floor. Literally. I don't even know. It takes even if production came up with that game, some of them probably would have been like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. That's too much. Heather was like, I'll do it. Like, she took off with it. So I appreciate it. Whoever came up with the game, if it wasn't Heather, you just had the balls to be the one to say, okay, I'm going to make them play this game. And that's why you gave your Martin Luther Heather speech, like Toria said. But you knew what you were doing. And I appreciate you for it. One of the best season finales I have seen in a very long time, outside of what they delivered in season 4. So those are my thoughts on the season 5 finale of Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I love these women. Andy, do not touch this cast. I don't care what you guys say. Even Brittany, with her comedy relief and her ditziness and her stupid text message, can come back in my book. If not, she's good. She's soared on social media, making a living of singing Broadway songs, kissing Jared, and making fun of the things that have been said about her every single episode. So kudos to her. But Andy, do not touch this cast. Do you hear me? Do not touch this cast. I am excited. We have a 3-part reunion for Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. It will be starting this Wednesday. I gave you guys a sneak peek already of it. I will give you another one on Wednesday, so y'all look out for that. If you did not get to watch this video in its entirety and get the full recap of Real Housewives Salt Lake City season finale, no worries. Go to the link in my bio on Instagram, Facebook. Make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. I have some recorded podcast episodes I'm going to do and put out for you on Love and Marriage Huntsville, as well as last night's episode of Real Housewives of Potomac and of Married to Medicine. So y'all set your alerts, subscribe, please, like my videos. I appreciate you guys. And I will be back with more videos. I also just dropped the sneak peek. No, thank you, Lily. Thank you for joining in. I appreciate you. And I missed you guys. I'm getting back into my groove, definitely. But also sneak peek of Love and Hip Hop Miami. very controversial sneak peek of tonight's episode I put up for you guys. You take a look, tell me what you think in the comments, and I'll be back tomorrow to recap that. So again, set your alerts, subscribe to my YouTube channel, links in my bio. And as I always say before I end my podcast episodes, reality TV stars are humans too. Don't forget that. It's your girl V with Reality Recap. Thanks, Toria, for an awesome show. You guys make it better with your commentary. I appreciate you guys. Y'all have a good day. I'll see you later. Peace.